I'm having a hard time liking Kamaru Usman anymore. I think I'm at the top of my scale. I can't find a flaw with the guy. For sure, none of you, even the harshest jerk out there, isn't going to be able to flaw his fighting. I remember when Vitor Belfort busted on the scene in 1998. Jeff Blatnick was the announcer at the time, and Jeff simply said, referring to Vitor Belfort, he has no known weaknesses. And the audience is never going to accept that. The audience is going to take that and shove it right up your ass if you say something like that as the announcer. We all agreed. We all agreed that Jeff Blatnick, in 3 words, no known weaknesses, summarized everything that we knew about Vitor Belfort. Kamaru Usman has no known weaknesses. Okay, great. I'm stating the obvious. None of us are questioning how good he's at that. But I'm talking about the person. And I'm talking about what we want to see in a competitor. And if you were to juxtapose Kamaru Usman with damn near any other champion, right now or ever, Kamaru Usman is the most refreshing guy with the strap we've ever had. Soon as you get that belt, the last thing you want to do is defend it. As soon as you get that belt, you know who deserves. You know has proven. You know who had anything to keep the hell from having to get in there, get off your biscuit and have to go risk it. Kamaru Usman came out earlier today and he talked about the division. Talked about what a great job Luque's doing. Talked about the excitement and the momentum of Chimaev. He paid compliments to Belal Muhammad, who in fairness isn't even in a conversation for, and a rematch with Leon. Nobody wants to do rematches, guys. Nobody wants to fight Leon. Nobody wants to have to fight him twice, or anybody else. Kamaru Usman paid each one of them compliments, and then he finished the quote by saying, I am going to sit back. I am going to let them decide who's next, and then that's the guy I'm going to fight. There is nothing more that Kamaru Usman needs to say or could say. And if Kamaru Usman tipped the scale in anybody's direction, whether it's true or not, the audience would have heard that's the easiest guy, right? If Kamaru Usman came out, you're down to 3 guys, and he says, I want this one. That's the one that he's going to have assessed and he believes is his easiest path. And that's what everybody would have heard. Whether that's what Usman was doing or not, that's what everybody would have heard. Usman did not make that mistake. And there is fights going on right now. And if you're missing this, you're missing the good stuff in MMA. If you're missing the stories and the drama, in all fairness, if you're not watching the Chael Sonnen show on ESPN+, in fairness, we'll always bring you guys the drama because there is a fight going on right now that Kamaru Usman just pointed out with the 170-pounders to argue, to get in there and throw punches if you can't figure it. If you can't use diplomacy, go ahead and fight. However you guys want to resolve this, whoever comes out of the pack, I'll be waiting here. And he's right. I don't think Luque's done a good enough job sticking up and defending himself. I really don't. I think that Luque should have gotten more credit. And if the organization didn't get it to him, he should have gone out and demanded it for being the backup fighter. Imagine the balls that takes. Everybody else on that card is going to train and lock down, fully focused on one person. Luque is going to train, buckle down, and knowing it's one of 2, and he's going to get the news 24 hours before bell time. It's a gangster move. Where's his credit? And he's not out there demanding. I don't think he's done a great job of speaking up for himself. Chimaev appears to have his marching orders, which is get a fight, then get another fight, then we'll talk to you about Usman. Leon, very strong argument. But as these guys battle it out, and whether they can do it with diplomacy, you get the right tweet or two, you can take a fight away. There's another fight going on at 155 pounds right now between Islam Makhachev and Justin Gaethje, and neither guy is backing down. And if you miss this, right, if you're not aware this is happening, if you miss this, if you sandhag in your own damn career, you're missing the good stuff as a fan that's free. It's out here all day, every day. It's free. You don't got to get pizzas. You don't got to get a 6-pack. You don't have to have the buddies over. You don't got to clean up the mess afterwards. It's happening right now. These guys are fighting. And Kamaru Usman, who's smart enough to see what is happening, is standing back and saying, may the best man win. And that is a very annoying answer and a very annoying attitude from a contender. Champions have different rules. Champions don't call people out. Champions get called out, which is why on the rare occasion, Daniel Cormier called out Volkan by example. Boom, got him a shot. At the rare occasion that a champion calls for something, that's why he gets the fight. Izzy Adesanya calls out Yo Romero, who is coming off of a loss. Boom, that's the fight. Kamaru Usman's headed in a very different direction, grabs a microphone on ESPN and says, no, it's you, Masvidal. Boom, that's the fight. Champions get called out. They don't do the calling out. Kamaru Usman has done everything perfect. And I've encouraged you fellow athletes to run your career from a business standpoint the way Usman is, which is extremely, this might not be my business to bring this out, but you're all seeing it. It's for the greater good. So I will speak if it's out of school. Kamaru Usman defends himself. He has a brand. He's aware of that. See the fantastic outfits he's wearing, the fantastic glasses, and he looks great. Every time he knows he's on camera, he's building a brand. He's out there marketing. He's doing everything right. He's not getting in trouble on the weekends. You're not reading that he was pulled over for X, Y, or Z. He does everything right. He lives on brand, and he realizes that brand is up, and he sticks up for himself. Sure he does. But what's different about Usman and everybody else is when Usman gets a call from the people he's calling his partners, he tells them yes. Yes. And then he goes back to his fight. It's wildly different from guys that want to take their ball and go home, that want to grab that belt and go hide in the closet. It's wildly different. And when those guys cease to be champion, they all have one thing in common, which is they are released from the company the first chance Dana White can get pen to paper. It's a wildly different attitude. And when Kamaru Usman is coming out right in front of us, setting an example about attitude, not to mention behavior, demeanor, and skills, it's tough. I go back to the question I'd love for you to answer. Is there anything Kamaru Usman could do to make us like him more?